Hello and welcome everyone, I'm Madals and today I've got game 1 of a best of 3. It is some Zerg versus Protoss and Belshir is going to be the first map. Now, down here in the bottom right position, spawning as the green Zerg player from Team Acer, it is Bly. And his opponent up in the top left, the yellow Protoss, it is Arthur. Now, this is from an event that I cannot remember what the event's from, and that is completely 100% my fault, because I got it from a replay pack, and I maybe have got quite a few replay packs that I'm working through, just because there's tons of really great best of 3s that there's just too much with my live casting schedule to be able to cast them all at the same time. So there's tons of them, and I named them all in like the series, and I forgot to group them together depending on the event. So this could be the Russian StarCraft 2 League. I think it may be. It could also be lots of other things. But yeah, we're here. It's going on. And it's awesome. And that's all that matters. Now, Arthur, what is this probe doing? This is not a normal scouting pattern for a probe. To come down here. Definitely not to come and sit down in this little place. What are you up to, Mr. Probe? Always exciting. Meanwhile, Bly, he's just going for that spawning pool perfectly normally. The pylon's also down on this low ground here, so it can't be anything too sneaky, because this probe really doesn't have much it can achieve at this moment in time. It can cannon rush the third base, but it's still an odd time to try and cannon rush and not try and cannon rush the natural base. So, not quite sure what's going on here. Arthur must have some kind of devious plan though, so we'll keep an eye out and try and work out exactly what is happening there. But anyway, Forge is coming down first, which is what's making me think it's going to be a cannon rush, because Forge first on Belshir isn't that common. Bly is coming down there to take the hatchery, but oh, the Overlord sees the probe. Hello, Mr. Probe. Is this going to trigger a response out of Bly? It very well could, because he's seen a probe come in, and he's not going to see it come up here. Yeah, there's a second drone getting pulled. Bly smells something fishy here. A cannon rush is going to be occurring. Is it going to go down in time? The drone is making its way forward. Coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. Boom! Pylon is there. Probe is going to try and get targeted, but there is the second pylon. This is just walling in the probe to make sure that it is absolutely fine. The pylon is about to finish, and therefore that can get cancelled, and immediately a cannon can get started at the back. But, ooh, Arthur decides to cancel that back one, so he can squid that little probe out. Can he get through? Mineral walks in like a boss, and now this cannon rush is in full effect. This is actually going to be a really awkward cannon rush to try and stop, because just look at the positioning of everything. The probe can as well try and chuck down some additional cannons. That's exactly what's going to be happening here. More pylons can also come down, and this natural base is suddenly to be looking to be in a lot of trouble. But having said that, Arthur is committing an awful lot of resources to doing this. The cannon that he's constructing, he's trying to get focused down. The one on the side does have some Zerglings going for it. More cannons are on their way. The first cannon has finished up. The Zerglings are now going to start taking some damage. Bly needs to make sure that he defends this as best as he can. The cannon is going to go down. Now, the additional building cannons are going to be forced to cancel, and that, therefore, has done very, very little damage for Arthur. He only did 112 resources worth of damage while losing 585 of his own. He's getting a cannon back at home, but his Nexus is only now just starting. This is so incredibly late. That did not deal the damage that it needed to. Ultimately, if you want to cannon rush, you have to kill the hatch. It's that simple, because if you don't, the Zerg player is always going to get economically ahead, and Bly is going to be going in for the counter aggression. The Rotron chucked down. He does not want to try and take a third and take this to the macro game. He's like, do you know what? If you're going to cannon rush me, I'm going to roach you. And that is exactly what Bly is now preparing to do. His Zerglings are sitting around, making sure that he's got a good idea of what's coming down in the front. Notice this is the first and only gateway currently down for Arthur. This is therefore incredibly late, and he's got no Zealot. He's got no wall off. The Zerglings are going to try and sneak their way through. One makes it. The second one, unfortunately, going to die, so therefore only one lone Zergling making it into the base. Probes can deal with that. That's absolutely fine. But the Rotron finished back at home. Gas income still on its way through. Bly got a decent amount of supply to work with. Those 10 lava as well. He can instantly start probably 6. Close enough. 6 roaches on their way through, but 7, 8, 9, and probably even 10 roaches will be following this up. Just a full out all in now from Bly. The Cybercore on its way down. Yes, there's a Zealot on its way, but one Zealot is not going to be able to deal with what is now 9 roaches. This is going to be near impossible for Arthur to defend. He needs to get out more cannons. He needs to identify this is coming. The probe, which is about to discover that there is no third base yet, may just be the hint that that's coming down. So we may see a second, a third, a fourth cannon all on their way very shortly, because honestly, this is going to be really problematic for Arthur to deal with. If he doesn't start another cannon, in the next second or two. It's got to be coming down ASAP. These roaches can just start powering their way in. Notice that a zealot is on its way down. The zealot's at the other watchtower, but doesn't see any of this coming through. The roach is coming the other way. No information about that occurring in the slightest. And that just means that, yeah, we've now got Arthur trying to get down that second cannon, realizing something's a bit fishy, but look at how late that is. The roach is already knocking at the door. The zealot is there, but look at the cybernetics core positioning as well. The roaches, if nothing else, can take that out without taking any damage themselves, and that is going to be a problem. But Bly, he doesn't want to take out a cybernetics core. He wants to win the game, and that is what he's pushing in to do. The cannon gets focused down, and now it's roaches v probes, and roaches win this fight unbelievably well. Another cannon is on its way down. The probes are going to try and hug back towards that, but the cannon now going to get focused by these roaches. No micro even being utilized by Bly here. He's just like, well, do you know what? I can win this game, and he very well may be able to. He's pushing in. The roach is still here. The mothership core is down, so we'll eventually kill all of these roaches, but no, not enough energy for a photon overcharge. Yes, force fields can start being utilized. Yes, the mothership core will slowly work through these roaches, but look at just how long it takes. It's going to be an eternity to get this down. Another sentry does pop out, going to get the force field down to save the main for a little longer. Arthur needs to get as many units out as possible. Another sentry coming off the back of it, just trying to buy as much time as possible. Luckily, there's that second pylon powering up that gateway, but it's now going to be a stalker on the back. The triple pylon block, going to try and buy just a little bit more time behind this. Bly, well, he's getting his lair down, going up to 4 gases. Not really too much to worry about. He's ahead by 12 workers. Probes now getting pulled once again to try and deal with these roaches, but huge losses are going down on the Protoss side. 18 workers have been killed so far by Bly, and this is just not looking too comfortable for him. Another cannon rather, trying to come up here for the probes to defend up, but even with the photon overcharge, the roaches can just run back up there, and the grip on these probes isn't quite soon enough to make sure that it was in range still of that photon overcharge. So that means that the mothership core, the stalkers, will be able to clean that up, but at what cost? 26 workers have been killed by Bly, who's now currently sitting at 50 to 18. Arthur is going to need nothing shy of a miracle to come back into this game. He needs to be incredibly cost effective in any trade that goes forward. The one saving grace he's got is that Bly has not taken his third yet. That lack of a third base means that his economy is not quite as substantial as it may have otherwise been, but it's still nearly double, well, it is over double that of Arthur. So that's something that obviously Bly does need to be very cautious about. This one zealot is coming in, and yeah, Bly just deals with that really quickly. And I noticed I said, actually, Bly needs to be very cautious. It's not Arthur needs to be very cautious. He's got to try and drone up a bit more. Got to get some more units on the ground and just not die. Notice 9 more roaches on their way. Roach speed on its way, and the third is also coming down. This mothership core is going to try and poke and prod and deal a little bit more damage. Doesn't have anywhere near enough yet energy for that photon overcharge. There may be a saving grace. The lair is done. The hydrogen, that's coming down as well. Plus an evolution chamber. Bly not taking any chances. He's still checking up. He's getting down that hatchery, and things still looking fairly good for him. But is Arthur going to be able to hold? Trying to get down that robotics facility. Starting to stabilize the worker count slightly, because basically Bly is spending all of his money on getting more roaches out and not droning. That is the only reason this worker count is slowly creeping back closer to level. But such massive economic damage has already been done. Is Arthur going to be able to hold off against this push? Well, the roaches making their way forward, making their way up. They're going to try and deal some more. The mothership core does see it, is 8 energy away from being able to get that photon overcharge. One of the sentries get instantly sniped down there, but the force field does go down. The cybernetics core is getting prioritized. 1 more energy, and now, of course, that photon overcharge can be triggered. Trying to buy as much time as he can. Arthur knows that if he can somehow hold off these roaches, he may be in with a shot to level out this game. The sentries are still going down. The robotics facility nearly finished. A new cybercore on its way down, because otherwise it's just zealots defending this. But Bly, he does not care. He has got a lot of roaches. He's pushing in. He's streaming more across the map. They do have speed too. And there's a small gap in the force fields, which means that the roaches can just start to step their way through. And Arthur, GG's out. Game number 1 will go to Aces Bly. So if you enjoyed that, make sure you like the video, leave a cool comment, and of course subscribe. Then flick over to my channel, and I'll see you at game number 2 in just a second.